What's up, everyone? Good guys here with our free picks again. Still really excited to be back on YouTube. We've got some good stuff for you guys today. We're going to recap our picks from yesterday, talk about some other stuff. Uh, Before we get into that, I want to direct you guys to the Discord. The link to that's in the description. I say it every time we do this. Great community to be in. A lot of stuff going on in there. Good stuff for you guys to see. Great community for sports bettors, so I highly recommend that. Looking at our picks from yesterday, we had one win and one push, so really happy with that for being our free picks. The Dream, kind of unfortunate. They were up 20 plus at one point, 21 or 22. They ended up winning by 12. We had a minus 12. So happy we didn't lose it, but really sucks they kind of blew that, especially into the third. The tempo just kind of went crazy and brought it back to being a closer game. Then the Storm, that wasn't really a sweat at all. They led pretty much every second of the game, I think. So yeah, with our first free pick video that we got kind of back to, we went 2-0. Then yesterday, one win and one push. I'm really happy with those results. We're gonna have Contender Series picks in this today. That's probably gonna become a regular thing on Tuesdays. Soup been waiting for this all year. Super excited for it. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with MMA overall, especially with the UFC events. But really happy we got Contender Series back. So, with all that being said, let's go on and kind of get into these. Okay, so we're gonna have two of these picks. These are both 2 unit plays, $100 units. The first pick, Malumba versus Pagliarillo. You know, the Contender Series can be kind of interesting because you guys check out their topologies. There's not a lot of times you're limited on what you can get, right? You'll rarely recognize anyone that these guys have fought. Um, you don't really know what a guy's going to do when they're early in MMA, and they're kind of fighting on these smaller circuits, smaller scenes, these smaller promotions. Um, but I do think if you are able to find the fights on YouTube, watch them, there is a lot of value in the Contender Series, and it's just so fun. Especially looking at a lot of these guys' topologies for this week one. It seems like Dane has really brought in a lot of finishers. So we have Malumba beating Palgarillo. You guys may recognize Malumba. He fought Rahiki in the Contender Series before, which he lost. But he looked really good. He was fighting really good in the first round. Got finished in the second. Um, he's a short guy. He's much shorter than Pagliarillo. I think Pagliarillo's about 5, 6 inches taller than he is. He's gonna have a lot of reach on him as well. Um, but Malumba's got such power, and I really like how consistent he's been. And when a guy loses on the Contender Series and he works his way back to it again, I'm always rooting for those guys. And I think that shows how much effort they're putting in to try to get a contract and try to get a win. So that is something I do look at. Watching some of Pagliarillo's fights, he's throwing constantly. He's finished a lot of his fights early, but he does throw a lot. And I think when he throws those high kicks, he leaves himself open a lot. And I think Malumba being the shorter guy, he's gonna be able to get in there and make it dirty. And I think he's gonna finish Pagliarillo. Um, Also, Malumba's fought better guys overall. Neither of them have fought anyone great other than Malumba fighting Rahiki, who's an impressive guy. But Pagliarillo's just fought some really bad people, and not dogging on him, but I saw like a 2-9 guy, 6-11. These are within his last three fights. Um, but yeah, so I think he's just it's really hard to tell what he's going to do. But I think Malumba's going to get this one done. He's a little bit of a favorite, minus 155. Um, so yeah, Malumba to win is going to be our first play, and it's a 2 unit play. Second one, Fabricio Escarga versus Alciguir. This is another one that's kind of interesting. I really like Escarga. I was practicing pronouncing his name before I even started this video, but it keeps kind of tripping me up. Um, but yeah, Escarga's 9-1. He's gonna have a little bit of a height advantage over Alciguir. but I really like what I've seen out of Fabricio. Um, he's finished pretty much every one of his wins. He's got a lot of a power. He's got a lot of power. It seems like there's not a lot of him on the ground, um, and that is something that Alcigir likes. I think Alcigir has half of his wins or finishes, or like a third of them. I'd have to go look again. Um, but I think that height advantage is just going to really allow Fabricio to try to stuff some of the takedowns. Um, obviously, you know, a lot of times these taller guys, it really favors them when it comes to the grappling that they're able to get to the cage a lot faster and they're able to push their hips out a lot further. Some people say, being taller is a disadvantage with grappling, and I can see it. But I think in this style, in this specific fight, it's going to really favor Fabricio with how I think Alcigir is going to try to grapple him. Uh, they both seem pretty good. Um, this is again Contender Series, so you don't really know what any guy's going to do. Usually, everyone has a semi decent record, and they all look good. And then as they get in these better promotions, you kind of start to see their flaws a little more. But I do think Fabricio is much better from what I have seen, and I'm surprised that he's not a bigger favorite than he is. Um, so I think he'll end up finishing El Seguir. Probably, I think he'll finish him in the first round. But yeah, we have him to win. Those are our two picks. We've been killing it on these free picks. 3 wins, 1 push, no losses. So really happy that we've kind of came back in this way. Um, leave a comment on the video if you got any questions. If you just want to talk Contender Series, that's always fun. And check out that Discord again in our description. And we'll be back with another video tomorrow. So see ya.